Story time on why you should be really careful about who you're dating. So this is a true story, friend of a friend kind of thing. There was a young girl. She lived in New York City, and she was on a dating app and matched with this young guy. He seemed like a really great person. He had his stuff together, good job, lived local to the area. They talked for a few weeks. Everything was going really great. No red flags, all of that good stuff. He decides to ask her out one night, and they end up going to, she agrees, they end up going to this really nice restaurant. He pays, he's a gentleman, he's nice to wait staff. They wrap up the night, and they both go to their respective homes. And after she gets settled at her apartment, she gets text from him saying that he lost his key, and he's trying to get a hold of his roommate. His roommate isn't home, but his roommate is also not answering. So he's kind of like stuck outside of his apartment, just sort of like telling her that. And she just kind of figures, all right, I'll invite you over. So, maybe give him a little bit of time to figure out what's going on, either find his key or get in contact with his roommate. So he comes over to her apartment and they have, a really nice chat. They sit on the couch. Finally, she decides that she's going to go to bed. She doesn't know why, but she goes into her own bedroom, which has a door, and she ends up locking it. And it's just one of those things that she felt like she needed to do, which I totally get. Like, new people in your space. Sometimes it's nice to just be extra cautious. So she goes to her bedroom, she locks the door, and he's sleeping on the couch. Around 3 a.m, she wakes up to a knocking on her door.
He said, I can't find my keys. Do you mind if I come over and sleep over? Dude, this guy could be a serial killer.
It's her date, and he asks her if she has a cell phone charger because his cell phone is dead and he needs to charge it. This is the part where it gets really crazy. So she tells him that she has one and it's on the kitchen counter. And she just tells him this through the door. She doesn't get up. She doesn't unlock the door. She doesn't go and find it for him. And I'm thinking to myself, if this was me, I would totally get up and grab it for the person and give it to them and then be like, all right, anything else? Good night. He says thank you. He goes, he grabs the charger, whatever. She doesn't know. She just goes right back to sleep. A few minutes later, he knocks on the door again. He said it's not working. And does she have one in her room? At this point, she's thinking that there's something up. She decides to call the police, which, once again, good for you, girl, for having the instinct to connect with the police. The police show up to the apartment. They knock on the door. She hears some commotion going on. And then she gets a knock on her bedroom door, because mind you, she hasn't come out this entire time. And it's a police officer. And he said, we've cleared the apartment. We have him in custody. We really need you to come out of your room so you can take a look at your apartment. She opens the door and walks out, and she sees that her entire living room is plasticked. And there is a...
You see, what did I just say? You never... What is this guy, Dexter? Nah, that just gave me chills. Ladies, listen, you can't invite nobody over. She was about to die. She was literally about to die. Just be aware that dudes are capable of almost anything.
Set of power tools sitting on the floor. This girl, because of her instinct to not open the door to a weird request for a phone charger in the middle of the night, saved her. Before you decide to take someone home or let them stay at your place, think twice about it.
You should definitely think twice about it, but there's no way of her knowing. Good thing she listened to her gut, because your gut's gonna tell you everything. A woman's intuition is really powerful. My God, he must have shown some signs beforehand, right? He had to have. And that's another reason why I tell women, don't let a guy pick you up. Don't go to a guy's house on the first night or the second night. You need to vet this dude out. I've been saying this for years. The dude could be a serial killer. You just never know. And even if he's not a serial killer, he could be a dangerous man. And as a woman, you have to be careful because you're the weaker sex.
Guys, this guy flew me to Miami for our second date for a vacation thing. And I'm pretty sure he ghosted me while we were here. He left. I have no idea why. And I know this sounds naive. I really don't think it was anything I did, but TBD, because I don't know why he left or when he left or how. He drove, but whatever. We're gonna call him Michael for the purpose of this story. So yesterday, Michael was like, oh, I'm going to go get lunch with my sister really quickly. I haven't seen her in 2 years. I'll be back at noon. I was like, okay, cool. Just don't forget we have these hard to get lunch reservations at 1:30. He's like, yeah, I'll be back before then. So I went to the pool, minded my business, soaking up the sun. At 1:10, I was like, hey, where are you? Don't forget about lunch. No answer. And then at 1:20, I said, where are you? Like, are you picking me up for lunch? Because he has his car here. Like, he drove a couple of hours away from Tampa. And I was like, hey, like, where are you? Then I started getting really frustrated, and I texted something like, yo, this is just so disrespectful to me and my time, and like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, hey, sorry to be non-responsive. I just found out some devastating news, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm a very caring person. I don't think that's the word.
The devastating news is that he's fucking his sister, because it's not actually his sister, it's his wife.
But I'm a very trusting person, so I was like, oh yeah, like something happened. Which to this time, I feel like something still happens. My friend don't think that something happened. They're like, oh, he definitely has a secret wife who was like, get your ass home. But it gets worse. I pushed the reservation back to.
I swear I haven't watched this.
Misses that reservation too, and like this is before he told me he had this quote devastating incident, and so housekeeping, and I promise this is important. Housekeeping ends up coming, and I was like, okay, like this is at 3:30, I think. I was like, you can come on in. And after they made the bed, I took a nap, and so obviously they cleaned the shower too, which is important. And as I'm getting ready to go hang out with some of my other friends, because I was like, fuck this. And I think this is still before I knew what happened. Actually, I think I knew that there's this, quote, devastating event. And so then I look around and I look in the corner and I realize his stuff's not there. I was like, did he come get his stuff while I was taking a nap? Like, that is so disrespectful. And there is the possibility that he possibly got it while I was at the pool and he was supposed to be home by noon and like all of that. That could have possibly been when he got it, but I don't know, because we're both very clean when we travel. So our stuff is like very compact. It almost looks like somebody's bedroom. But if he did get it while I was napping, that's disrespectful. And I noticed this morning when I was showering that there was a washcloth that was wet in there. I was like, did he get his stuff and then shower? Because housekeeping would have cleaned it up yesterday if he had showered before they came. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that would be so disrespectful. My friends like, were you sleeping through all of this? I was like, yeah, I'm a tank. So not quite sure what's happening right now. Keep you guys updated. I'm gonna go run up some room service. Anyway, here's the first of many pina coladas on his tab.
I mean, we still don't really know what happened. Maybe something devastating really did happen and we're all jumping to conclusions right now. Maybe his sister had a stroke. Who knows? But that does go to say, a lot of these dudes be out here lying, just like the Dexter dude from earlier, and you just never know what their true intentions are. It's so bad for women nowadays because men will say anything you want to hear to try to get some coochie. I'm gonna do all this for you, baby. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna take you on a vacation. All expenses on me. I'm just trying to. They might have a wife. Who knows? I would say the majority of men just really want to have sex with women and they're willing to fucking do anything to have sex and to get what they want. And that's unfortunate because women are always being lied to. You got to be able to sniff out the red flags early. And I think that just comes with experience with men, dating more men. The more you date men, the more you understand them and the more you can dodge the fuckery. So you're used to seeing patterns. You get that pattern recognition. That's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. Make sure you subscribe for more reactions. I'll see you later. Peace. Ladies, if you've ever felt confused by men or you just simply feel like you're attracting the wrong ones, I built a private community on my Patreon where I break down exactly how us men think. Well, the man that you want, how he thinks, how to be in your feminine energy, and how to attract the man who actually is going to commit to you. It's a safe space for women who actually want to level up in love, confidence, and your mindset. Join my private community. I will leave a link in the description of this video.